This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC Vegas 72. I'm going to give you guys my most confident picks, my favorite underdogs, the lock of the week. We'll talk value bets / props and then finish it out with the parlays. Make sure you guys smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Yes, the glasses are staying on. I'm riding high after hitting with lock of the week underdog Sergey Pavlovich, and I'm looking to bring that same savagery to this card. Let's first start it off. Most confident picks. We'll pop them up on the screen, and let's talk about the two here. They are favorites that I'm going to be bringing up for this section. One is Josh Quinlan to win. He sits at around -180. The other one being Caio Borralho. We'll first talk a little bit about Josh Quinlan because it's a better line if you are looking for a money line play or you're looking for maybe a parlay piece with a little more value to it as opposed to a massive favorite. Now, Josh Quinlan is fighting Trey Waters, who recently fought and won the LFA title. He got hit a bit in that fight, and now an extremely quick turnaround. He's going to have to cut weight again. And what is he put across from? A straight knockout artist. Josh Quinlan has that God-given power. I feel like the way that Trey Waters stands, which is a bit upright, the hands are low. He's also 6'5". At 170 pounds, you're 6'5". I think if Quinlan finds one hard shot on the chin, probably a hook, he puts Trey Waters lights out. I respect the hell out of Quinlan's power. And I think if you're looking to betting it, you're like, okay, what could be a potential play? I feel as though Quinlan gets it done by KO. That sits upwards of +135, also under 1.5. I like the plus money knockout prop because at least we can snipe out some plus money. And Josh Quinlan money line, I like it, but I like it more as a parlay piece. Not a bad line here at -180, but ultimately I would rather add it to something maybe with an underdog in a parlay. We'll talk parlays at the end. Ultimately, that knockout prop for Josh Quinlan is a confident call. I do think he's getting the KO. His style is getting knockouts, and I think he's going to lay Trey Waters flat out here in this fight. Probably going under 1.5. Josh Quinlan to win, money line. Josh Quinlan by knockout, get the plus money. Now, ultimately, the next line for another of the most confident picks is Caio Borralho, and it's not a pretty line. It sits around -375, which is crazy wide. Nearly a 4-1 favorite against Oleksiejczuk. Ultimately, Oleksiejczuk is a very capable fighter, but I think stylistically, this might be the worst matchup in the entire division for him outside of the top 15. Caio Borralho is a grappling specialist. Oleksiejczuk has been submitted several times throughout his UFC career, albeit up a weight class at 205, still taken down in his last one by Cody Brundage fairly easily. Granted, got the TKO win with ground and pound. Borralho's not going to get ground and pounded. Borralho's not just going to sit there on his back and be like a fish out of water. He's not some guy who just has wrestling and punching. He is a very well-versed jiu-jitsu fighter with excellent takedowns on top of a base of karate, which is going to be hard for Oleksiejczuk to close that gap on. Now, Oleksiejczuk has awesome boxing. He hits very hard, and I have to respect him. Against the vast majority of fighters, if Oleksiejczuk was an underdog and it was an unranked opponent, I'd probably be like Oleksiejczuk being a solid bet. But Borralho's style, I think, is just the worst matchup. I think that Caio Borralho's going to land takedowns. Borralho has been out grappling guys in his past few fights that are significantly better on the floor than Oleksiejczuk. Borralho, huge favorite. It probably is Borralho winning by sub. That's going to be my official call here, submission. Now, before you guys get crazy and go throw 375 down to make 100 on the money line or more, I think of this more as a parlay piece. The most confident pick section, you guys got to think they're favorites here. I'm giving you my most confident of the favorites that I think should win, that definitely can be pieces of your parlay or money line attacks potentially. If it is more than a -200, -250, now to me, not worth a money line play at all. I like the plus money side. Give me some dogs. Now, there is plus money possible if Borralho wins by sub, upwards of +165. Is Borralho going to get the submission? I think stylistically how this matchup is, Borralho has a very live shot to win this fight via submission. Ultimately, Oleksiejczuk, I respect on the other side with knockout power, but I've yet to see Borralho as a guy that's chinny in any fucking sense of the word. He seems like a freak specimen on the come up. I see Kyle Borralho as a future top 15. I think Michael Oleksiejczuk is definitely top 20 material in the middleweight division. This, unfortunately for Oleksiejczuk, is going to be, like I said, the worst stylistic matchup. I have to be confident on Borralho, but I will tell you guys, in my opinion, the lines are stupid, but still a most confident pick. I looked through, I said, what is a favorite that I really want to back with the highest of confidence to bring to this most confident pick section? Josh Quinlan right away was like, yes, absolutely. When I was picking between the next one, Borralho was the name. And ultimately, I was looking, I wanted more value. I would rather give you guys a better value money line that's closer. But that's why we got big plus money dogs, which we're about to talk about. But Kyle Borralho and Josh Quinlan, both of them, two of the most confident favorite picks on the card. Definitely parlay additions to look out for, which we'll talk about at the end. Let's jump to the next section, which is my favorite underdogs. Let's talk some dog money. There's good dogs on this card. Dog, Waldo, Cortes-Acosta, love it. Fernando Padilla, also like that dog a fucking lot here. I think that we're going to first talk Waldo. I think that at heavyweight, the biggest concern with Waldo Cortes-Acosta is something that we have to be concerned about with all heavyweights that haven't shown any grappling off the bottom. What happens if Marcos Rogerio de Lima hits a takedown? Does Waldo Cortes-Acosta look like Junior Tafa? I'm going to guess no. I don't think he's going to be that susceptible to grappling control like a Justin Tafa. I believe he could, at the very least, scramble and get up at least a couple of times. He wouldn't just be a complete novice off of his back. He has fought a wrestler in the past, won by third round knockout some fights ago. I know De Lima is not a wrestler, but he does have good jiu-jitsu, and he's fucking thick. When he gets on top, heavy pressure, good submission game from that top. But you look at the striking. Yes, Rogerio de Lima has tremendous knockout power and an awesome KO of Ben Rothwell. He fucked up Andrei Arlovski and hurt him on the feet. Ultimately, Waldo Cortes-Acosta is a good boxer, though. Legitimate pro boxing skill set, which he brings to the heavyweight division. He's a guy that has the cardio to go distance. I believe stylistically, there's a clear speed edge for Waldo. I think Waldo's touching him up, moving. There's a chance Waldo could find his first UFC knockout too in this matchup, but I would just moneyline it. I'm not craving a prop bet here. I would list this as a no prop bet. Just give me the moneyline side. Give me around plus 155 on Waldo Cortes-Acosta. De Lima on the opposite side is a minus 180 favorite. We found Waldo. Waldo has been an underdog lock for me, or rather just a lock. I think he was the favorite in some of the fights that I call him a lock. Ultimately, he's been a very confident pick in every one of his UFC fights so far. So I have to bring the heat with him here in my favorite underdog section. I am playing him as a dog. I think he's an extremely live dog around that plus 155 range against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I see him being victorious. I'm feeling like he might win a decision, but I would be lying to you if I don't think there's a chance that he could put the combination punches together and get his first UFC win. Don't just compare him to, the first fight against Vieira, and then he looked better against Chase Sherman. Now he's had some time off, and he comes back against De Lima. Expect constant improvement for a young guy in the heavyweight division like Waldo. Someone that's newer to MMA, but constantly getting better. Good athlete. Like I said, boxing skill set. Professional boxing skill set. Good hands with some solid takedown defense. Goes a very long way at heavyweight. In MMA in general, but especially the heavyweight division. I mean, look what we saw. Sergey Pavlovich doesn't throw kicks. And he was able to knock out Curtis Blades, who shot for a takedown, ultimately got devastatingly outstruck and flatlined. So Waldo, plus money, dog, one of my favorite dogs on the card. I love Waldo to win. Next one, Fernando Padilla is a bit of an X factor. I'll call him a wild card underdog. The line has gotten closer. A lot of people are seeing the value in Padilla stylistically against Erosa, who's extremely hittable. Padilla's plus 110 now, which is not a great tag. Padilla has a legitimate chance to get a KO win. So when I'm sniping out a prop here, I'm going to give you one. I'm not going to call this a no prop bet. I'm going to call this a yes to the knockout prop bet at plus 325. But, Padilla's got a good amount of submission wins too. It's not impossible. He's a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu guy. It's not impossible Padilla wins by sub. That's at plus 800. To save yourself the risk and the headache, I believe if Padilla's to win, he's going to get a stoppage. The way that Erosa fights, he fights to his opponent's level a lot of the times, and he's extremely hittable. Yeah, the Hakeem Dawodu win. Ultimately, styles make fights. Right before that Dawodu win, he barely got past Steven Peterson. Padilla, I am telling you guys, has very quality striking skills and is extremely capable on the mat. Yes, he's newer to the UFC. So if I'm comparing what's a better play confidence-wise, is it Where's Waldo or is it Padilla? I'll have to lean you towards Waldo because we've seen more out of him. But ultimately, in this matchup, I think Padilla can win. I do believe Padilla's not going to win. I think he's definitely going to win. Now, ultimately, sometimes the fight game, you know what I'm saying? Shit goes a different way. Longtime vet like Erosa, it's not impossible he's victorious. But ultimately, the inside the distance prop is what I'm talking about here. Plus 225. I think that's valuable. The way Erosa fights with the hands low, the volume that Padilla brings, and also watch out for this dude's uppercut. It's sneaky as fuck. I like Padilla inside distance. Official pick is knockout, but I think, inside distance covers you in case he ends up getting a sub. Money line at plus 110. It's only slight plus. It's not terrible. It's still plus money, though. I still like the plus money side. We're hunting out these dogs. I'm sniping the dogs, bro. We're the dog catchers now. And I think that these two dogs are extremely valuable, and I actually see high likelihood of each of them coming through. So Waldo Cortes-Acosta plus money. Fernando Padilla plus money. Give me both these dogs in matchups, which I think are very favorable towards them. And this is going to lead us into the lock of the week.
Cody Durden.
Underdog, lock of the week. It's Cody Durden to get it done. I think he's going to make it dirty. Plus 115, Cody Durden. He's fighting Charles Johnson, who's the favorite at minus 135. Charles Johnson has a more technical and precise kickboxing style, but he likes to fight at a more controlled pace, whereas Durden can turn that shit up. Bring the heat, bring the pressure, make this a high-paced fight mixed in with wrestling. And also, do not forget, Cody Durden has professional boxing and kickboxing experience. You cannot sleep on Cody Durden in the striking department. He can definitely hurt Charles Johnson, who, in my opinion, yes, he's good from the outside, but when you get close to him, when you get inside, there's shots that open up. And then you talk about mixing in wrestling, cage control, and pressure. I'm going to name an opponent. Jalgas Zhumagulov, Johnson had significant troubles with, and Zhumagulov, in honest truth, is one of the more lower tier fighters in the flyweight division. Cody Durden has a draw with Chris Gutierrez, who's a contender at bantamweight. He's also on a win streak now. He's an extremely dangerous fighter, and I think Cody Durden edges out a hard-fought decision in a back-and-forth battle. Also, these guys been going after it on Twitter, too, so there's so much heat on this matchup. I am on the Cody Durden side. Give me plus 115. Underdog lock of the week to get it done. As far as prop betting, I prefer just money line. Just money line it. But I'll talk about the possibility. I think goes distance. That's over 2.5, minus 200. Not much value there, but it's something. Durden to win by a decision, I'm kind of feeling plus 175. When we look at Durden to win inside distance, this is crazy. It's plus 600. It's not impossible he hurts Johnson with a punch and subs him. It's not impossible he ends up getting a KO. Ultimately, I think lower likelihood. So if you're shooting for an inside the distance prop or a knockout prop or a sub prop, which is big plus money for Cody Durden, ultimately, I think your possibility of those coming through is on the lower side. I'd say lower than 30%. I feel like Cody Durden winning is a high likelihood. So money line is going to be your best bet here. I just money line it. That's my take on this one. If you're looking to be successful with attacking an underdog, the underdog money line lock is the way to go. Cody Durden plus 115. I'm telling you guys, I feel very good about this play. I actually love all the underdogs that I have this week, but this one being the underdog lock of the week. And I'm looking to continue the underdog lock streak after hitting it with Sergey Pavlovich. I'm bringing the fire. Guys, I do want to jump to the next section. I want to talk a little bit about the props / value bets on the card. Ultimately, I don't think there are great prop / value bets, but I'm going to bring up a couple of them, okay? Martin Boudet, money line, minus 105. It is something worth talking about if you're looking for a valuable bet. I believe he beats Jay Collier here. Ultimately, it's not one that I'm extremely confident on playing, and I haven't touched it. It's something that I will probably look at after weigh-ins. It's a maybe. It's a strong maybe, but I had to mention it. Though, the prop betting side, which I'm like, this is interesting to me. Rodolfo Vieira, I would not touch the money line, but let's be honest here. Vieira's got a real shot to get this thing done via submission. If you can find it at plus 120, it is playable. Unfortunately, at many sites, it's in that minus 120 range, which is actually pretty fucking disappointing. That disappoints the shit out of me. The prop/value bet section this week is not necessarily bringing that same heat. I also do have Ricky Simone winning in this main event, minus 125. Betting side of it, you're in risky territory because he's in a dog fight with Yadong. I think it's going to be an epic battle. What is fight to start round 4 sitting at? Do we have that? Do we have an over? Let's see. Over 2.5. Let's see. If you can get an over 2.5, I think it's going into the third for sure. Minus 170, minus 145, if that's available for you. Some decent little looks as far as prop/value bets. Outside of that, I think stay away from Lindhorth Cohen. I mean, if you're all over Lindhorth, you really think she does it, sure, you can attack it, but riskier play. Egger versus Oleksiejczuk. I'm picking Egger to win, but ultimately Oleksiejczuk is where the plus money's at. Not telling you guys to do it, though. I feel like we got some money reads with the most confident picks, the favorite underdogs in the lock. I don't want to spoil it with these value and prop bets. This section here, take it with a grain of salt. Be intelligent with it. But just some other looks to give you guys for the card. I want to talk about parlays, though, because this is where I think we can snipe out some heat, man. I have an underdog parlay that I've been very excited to unveil for this one here. So first, we are going to line it up with our guy, Cody Durden, to get it done. Let's put him on the slate. All right, we got Cody Durden, and we're also going to line him up with Where's Waldo. So dog v dog, dog action, plus 470 for straight dog city. Kyle Borralho, minus 350, 634, and I'm going to add in Josh Quinlan, if we can find an accurate Josh Quinlan line here. They have the fight with Trey Waters? They do. All right. Josh Quinlan, plus 1,000. So Durden, Waldo, Borralho, Quinlan, plus 1,065. And for shits and giggles, we'll throw Padilla in. This right here is a very long shot play. I'm not telling you guys this is the highest likelihood of success, but ultimately I feel as though these 5 fighters have a very fair shot of winning, and also lines, for a few of them being pretty fucking awesome. Now, I want to give you guys maybe, I don't know if this is even a safer play. I don't even want to call it a safe play, but another one would be Quinlan and Borralho, plus 104, and throwing them in with the underdog lock. Durden, plus 350. That's playable. If you don't like Durden, you want to put Waldo in an alternate play, plus 425 for that one. Could be something to consider. I just don't want to get nuts with adding in like these close monies, like a Boudet. Count me out of that shit. Count me out. Count me out of that shit. I think you can mix and match the most confident picks, the favorite underdogs in the lock in some type of parlay, and you're going to get yourself nice plus money. Ultimately, money line attacks are your best bet. I talked about some props that I'm feeling good about, and then parlay-wise, Borralho definitely could be in your lineup. Quinlan could be in your lineup, and you could pick one underdog. Maybe you pick 2. Maybe you pick all 3. Maybe you go nuts with it, and you try to clean house. Not recommending you do that. But hey, crazy shit happens in the fight game. It's not impossible you catch a big win in tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of this week's Best MMA Bets. I think we got some fire plays. I like that I'm attacking dogs for the lock, and I'm feeling damn good about it. Make sure you guys smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Definitely let me know. What is your lock of the week? I'm curious what you guys are thinking, and let me know what you think of mine. If you got nothing to say in the comments, but you just enjoy the content, as always, drop a W in the chat to support your boy and boost that algorithm. I will see you all tomorrow for the late night live, and then weigh-in recap show on Friday, and then Fight Companion Saturday. So plenty of content dropping on the channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't turned the post notifications on, make sure that you do. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.